Shortly after I was born, my dad had one of his strokes, so we were both learning to walk at the same time. Fastest people on earth, unless there's a street. You got new shoes on, player, go.
I got locked out. The blend is on, son.
Now he's pissed, and he's like, what's going on? And I didn't know what to say. I told him that I was throwing a late Christmas party, dude.
How old were you at the time?
Huh? Oh, this is 2.5 years ago. So I was 35. I was 35. Bro.
Not to mention we're second place in the Civil War. What up? Ready for the rematch too, North? Why do you think we reenact it every year?
What in the hell is Theo? That's what I think people think of me when they first talk to me, get to know me. They don't really understand me. You know, I'm surprised as other people are at some of the things that come into my head or some of the things that I think about.
From his first podcast episode in 2011, Theo has grown dramatically, going from low viewership at first to now well on his way to 1 million subscribers, with his appeal being a mix of southern, wholesome, honest, and a whole lot of how does he come up with this shit. He's easily one of the funniest comedians I listen to, and it really does come down to his masterful spontaneity, an often abstract way of thinking, kinda like an advanced Forrest Gump in the character play, but occasionally you hear the serious depth and experience behind his jokes. So who is Theo Vonn? Well, there's probably no better place to start than his father.
It was just like, and when he would come around, it would just, I was so embarrassed, you know? Yeah. But at the same time, I needed him to love me. So I think like this weird space of like, whenever that kind of stuff is going on for a kid, then you just maybe create different ways sometimes to communicate. I don't know. I don't want to talk about me too much, man. What do you guys been up to?
He would get dropped off in another suburb and walk just to have others not know where he lived out of fear of peer judgment, and even experiencing this from a summer camp counselor, feeling less than over financial status and family. His brother also left to live with his grandmother, not on great terms with Theo, but Theo still sorely missed him. He also had to deal with emancipating from his parents as his father passed away and his mother didn't want to take care of him, sadly at the age of 14. This being a hell of a lot for a kid to take on in life, and it's this raw sharing of his experience that many in his audience deeply relate to.
When I was born, my father was an old man. My dad was 70 years old when I was born. You know, I would take the school bus sometimes to a different neighborhood and get dropped off and then walk because I didn't want people to see where I lived. I would started riding my bike to school. I'd ride my bike maybe 5 miles to school when I was in middle school. This is what I need to do to feel okay.
That's a good question. What did I do? I grew up in the bad acid belt, and a lot of bad acid would come through our area. Yeah, I remember one time we got real high on some acid and cooked a pizza in a dryer, and it took about 4 cycles to do a on permanent press to do a medium, like a hot kind of ball of Italian. What else did we do?
Fresh out of Louisiana, he bounced around through a few universities but received an offer from a show called MTV's Road Rules while studying at Louisiana University. He moved to LA at 23 after the MTV experience and struggled to find management as they saw him as a reality TV star and not a comedian. In the meantime, he did land some roles, however, in Battle of the Seasons, The Gauntlet, Battle of the Sexes 2, and Fresh Meat, when in 2006 he won the last comic standing online competition. His next comedic break was mid-2008, where Vonn was one of the members of the Comedy Central sketch competition show, Reality Bites Back. He won the show, beating out names like Amy Schumer, Burt Kreischer, and Tiffany Haddish. In 2009, he ran a crank texting blog where he'd message random numbers and incite funny conversations to post online, showing his fast adaptation to online humor.
I get a random text message on my phone from a phone number that I don't know, okay? It comes up, I don't know what it is, all right? And it says, hey, it's Wanda, okay? So I write back, Wanda who? And she writes, duh, Wanda, your cousin. Now, obviously, she has the wrong number, okay? But also, she has the wrong fucking person because I have tons of free time. So I write back, what's up, shawty?
From here, Theo hosted an online Yahoo show, a TBS hidden camera show, and executive produced Howie and Mandel, as well as starring in Inside Amy Schumer, Gross, and Why with Hannibal Buress, as well as his own half hour for Comedy Central in 2012. He was also going to be in The Tomorrow War, picked up by Chris Pratt, but had to drop out due to his time commitments to comedy, with his first special releasing with Netflix in 2016. Theo's first podcast before this past weekend was The Comedy Sideshow, filmed at the Improv Comedy Club in Hollywood with various different comedians comedians as guests. 23 episodes deep, they called it quits. Then, in 2015, there was Allegedly with Theo Vonn and Matthew Cole Weiss as they compete to see who has the better tales of the debauchery found in Hollywood. Back to 2016, and alongside the special, we now have this past weekend launching his new solo podcast that feature more of Theo's storytelling skill, talking to the fans and bringing on any guests regardless of their fame level. On its way to 500 episodes and no signs of stopping, Theo brings out a different side in the guests when both parties level with each other. When they don't, however, you get this classic interaction instead.
Tough time working. I just think I have a tough time working with other people sometimes, you know, which is one of the reasons why I got into comedy anyway. You know, I just think.
Well, I would say get over that.
Yeah.
Get over yourself and get over that, because there's a lot of great people in this business, and you're gonna miss out. And I don't know.
No,
you know what?
I
You'll
totally
say
respect that.
your loved ones will save money on the funeral costs because no one's gonna go, so there's not gonna be too many fucking snacks they gotta put together.
You ever donated sperm or anything like that when you were coming up as a comedian?
Nope, and I don't have a gun in my helicopter. But I want to thank you for having me.
You bet.
And help me promote my special. I just have to get home
No worries,
because
man.
my kid's getting up from the nap and it's my watch.
I love it. I love your attitude.
She'd have a rough day and she'd come in. And
I don't remember the whole show.
I can explain it to you.
Yeah.
I can explain it to
Okay,
you.
go ahead.
This fucking guy just I don't know what that is. All right.
No, I believe it.
I don't know. And the second
Theo Vonn comes up with the strangest and unexpected jokes in an innocent way, like he almost doesn't realize how good he is, but damn is he good. Alongside his hilarity, some of his largest videos are Theo talking deeply about his past or addictions. Raw, honest and genuine, seriously relatable, this has left an impression and connected many fans deeper to him past just the jokes. There's also his side podcast in 2018, The King and the Sting, with the internet's favorite comedian, Shrendon Bob. But really, let's just go straight to the taxi story.
So high, I remember thinking, where is the driver? That's how fucking high I was. And he was sitting next to me doing cocaine.
Yeah, at what point does this become not a taxi cab ride? Like, when does the meter get turned off? Like, this
Oh,
is
the
such a
meter's
weird-
going, bro. The meter's at about 270, bro.
No.
So he's got to fucking be positive because I'm paying for this experience, bro. So then, dude.
And the first time he tried cocaine?
So I caught me a couple of grams of, that white donkey dust, a little bit of brain kick, and I went for the longest run I've ever ran. I ran for 11 miles, because I never ended up doing the half marathon because I got into cocaine. Nothing will keep you out of a marathon like a little bit of, that white, a little bit of Saturn sugar,
Within his personal life, now that Theo is closer with his siblings, he now gets to see his nieces and nephews raised in the way that they weren't, which along with getting sober and AA meetings has transformed Theo's experience in life from less down on himself, detaching from his upbringing programming, and moving to the beginnings of building love and self-respect for himself that wasn't instilled when he was younger. His podcast has grown tremendously, tipped to hit 1 million subs in the next 4 months, with his monthly earnings nothing to balk at, 25 to 40k, judging by CPM estimates for comedy channels and factoring in his 500 plus Patreon supporters that will only continue to grow as his podcast does. At the time of starting King and the Sting in 2018, he had 200k subscribers, almost quadrupling his audience with the help of absolutely crushing it on large guest experiences like the Joe Rogan Experience, Impulsive, H3, Joey Diaz, Your Mum's House, and having huge guests himself, sponsors and shows, and his early Hollywood adventures on top. Theo is eating incredibly well these days off the same humor that once made him feel the outcast, never swaying from his push to succeed regardless of how hard life hit him in his younger years. To end this, here's more of Theo doing what Theo do best.
You know those
What is
vitamins?
that? Those vitamins?
Yeah, I tried to OD on vitamins. When I
And
was
what'd you
8.
get? Just better?
I just fell asleep. What did you get? Better?
I'm just thinking like vitamins. It seemed like.
I didn't.
And the kids used to throw not snowballs at my head, but ice rocks.
Oh wow!
And they just used to, as hard as they can, just throw it at my fucking head.
Why, you collected them or something? Just flying on mushrooms at this point, dude. I'm looking. The Lord's looking for me, and I'm looking for Him. We're gonna meet up that afternoon. I thought you've been waiting your whole life to see your body, and this is when you decided to do it.
No, that's not it. I had seen my body. Do I have mirrors?
Yeah, but you could also not see your body if you want. Like I'll go sometimes. I remember one time I went like 8 months without seeing my legs.